Welcome back to the channel, guys. Just bought this storage unit for 50 bucks. It was a 7x10. Unfortunately, it was a interior unit where I had to take a elevator to get to, so unloading it took a long time. But thankfully, they had a covered awning to load. It's been raining a lot, so it was a lot easier to load with the cover. I saw that this unit had a safe pictured on the ground. I know people usually like to avoid units with mattresses, so that's why I usually bid on them, because you can usually get a pretty good deal on them. And it just takes 40 bucks to throw them all away, so it's not really that big a deal. The safe that was pictured was a tease. It had a lot of weight and it shuffled around, but when you opened it up, it just was a bunch of baseball cards. And in my opinion, sports cards are the worst cards to get. They're so hard to value that I usually just kind of end up selling them for a couple bucks for the whole lot. My favorite are Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. And of course, when you see a gun safe in a unit, you always find empty gun cases. I still have not found a single gun. Lots of other home goods. Now, unfortunately, this unit was a smoker, so a lot of this stuff had a really bad smell, especially the clothes. Thankfully, after washing the clothes, though, a lot of the smoke smell was gone, so it was pretty unnoticeable. Lots of stuff heading to Goodwill or just the dump, which isn't the end of the world. Sometimes it's nice to get rid of stuff pretty quick and not have to deal with storing it. I saw this easel in the photos. I know they sell pretty good. 20 to 40 bucks to an artist. Lots of gross bathroom stuff, toiletries, lotions and things. Handful of purses. They were all empty. There was one gift card that had some money on it to a Harley Davidson store, but it was like $5, so not really worth that much. Some nice baseball hats that are pretty much new. Some are a lot junkier though. This little handheld vacuum. This was another thing I saw in the unit, was a guitar case. Unfortunately, this thing was a piece of junk. It's kind of like a ukulele, just real thin wood, just a knockoff thing. And here's one of the surprises of the unit, a vintage Gameboy. It did turn on, however, none of the games worked. So I'm not sure if the games are broken or if the Game Boy is the problem, but there is an old gold Pokemon, a Donkey Kong, and a Rugrats game. And then you can never have enough protection. These older laptops and computers are starting to get my interest. I've never actually bought any Bitcoin or crypto, but I'm starting to dream about finding Bitcoin hidden on an old laptop. These are some really nice waterproof pants. The elastic bands on the overalls were shot, but the pants are still in good condition. Nice Camelback. Another large stack of baseball, football, basketball cards. There's one Ken Griffey Jr. card in a sleeve, but the rest seem just kind of like generic cards. Lots of sportswear. Unfortunately, like half the clothes had stains or a lot of holes in them. Two really nice custom bowling balls. The bag had a bunch of mold on it, so I had to throw that away, but I've had pretty good success selling bowling balls. Not really sure what this car part is, but it looked like it was worth a decent amount of money. Some more home good type stuff. And there was a bunch of designer brands, Carhartt, Helly Hansen, North Face. It's always good to look at the leggings. There were a handful of Lululemon, which are pretty expensive, but also a lot of just generic Target, Walmart brands. And this unit was loaded with kid clothes in really good condition. There were probably 4 or 5 trash bags full of just these nice kid clothes that sell really well. So we'll probably get $400, $500 for all these kid clothes once they're all washed up. They're all Mickey Mouse, designer kind of stuff, so they should sell pretty good. I wasn't sure what this was. I think it might be like a whale vertebrae or something, but it was the first thing that sold. And I recently saw a TikTok where people were selling pens for a lot of money. I don't really know which ones are worth a bunch, but this whole duffel bag was full of colored pencils and markers and stuff. There were 2 large bags of shotgun shells. A handful of them were slugs. There were a handful of 9mm bullets too, which are always nice to find. There's these really cool belt buckles that were made out of pewter. They were all Boeing designs with airplanes on them, and they were all serialized. Nice camera that was missing the battery, so I wasn't able to test it. And a couple security cameras that match the ones I have. Now, I'm not sure if these baseball cards are worth more since they're all sleeved up, but a pretty nice binder worth of them. With some baseball, with some football and basketball mixed in.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And then another huge surprise of the unit was a nice binder full of Pokemon cards. And these were all the original cards. A lot of them were fossil or first editions. This first page here was all holographics. And then just a handful of the base set. It's hard to see here, but most of them were the fossil variation. I listed them on eBay as an auction, and they went for over $100. It seemed like the best one was this holographic Snorlax and the Mewtwo. Big box of just generic board games. These go straight to Goodwill. Here's some more of the kid stuff. Lots of coats and pants. There were probably 200 pairs of jeans in the unit. And they all will sell for a couple bucks. And this is another reason why you should buy these storage units. I was actually in the market for a grill cover and got one for free. I wouldn't really be able to sell this for any money, but it saved me $30 from buying a new one. Lots of construction jackets and cold weather gear. And there were a handful of football jerseys. We got Tyler Lockett. And just a generic 12th man jersey from their Super Bowl run. Here was another cool belt buckle. Wasn't pewter, but it still seemed like it was worth something. And then here's the third safe of the unit. It was just full of these belt buckles, and these have all already sold. They sold for about $10 a piece. They look pretty cool. It's always strange what you find in storage units when you try to piece together the person's life on why they had a bunch of Boeing stuff and then just other random house goods mixed in. It may look like junk, but these big piles of wires are valuable for their copper scrap. So it's always good to just save the copper. And I almost tossed these two things. I thought they were like a part of a sewing project or something, but each one online seems like they sell for a couple bucks. So I got them all listed as one big lot. They should probably sell pretty good. And then here's the big safe. It was opened and the locking mechanism worked. I stupidly twisted the dial and now it doesn't work. So I got to figure out how to recode it, but it was completely empty, unfortunately. A couple hammocks that you can hang from the ceiling, a tent. Pretty nice hiking backpack. And then here's some of the designer clothes. A lot of them still had price tags on them. There's Calvin Klein, North Face, Columbia, and all of them were in pretty good condition. They did smell, but we washed them all and they smelled fine. Some cool Hulk shoes, Vans. A nice formal dress for like a wedding or something. And then a couple more Seahawks jerseys. Got Richard Sherman. Not really sure how to pronounce this guy's name. Tatupu. But overall, a really good unit for 50 bucks. I had to pay 40 bucks to throw away the mattresses and other junk in the unit. But for, under 100 bucks, I've already made my money back. Plus I got to keep a lot of clothes and stuff for myself. So I was pretty happy with this unit. And please check out some of the other videos on my channel and subscribe. Thank you.